Yo, this is Afro, a.k.a. All Flows Reach Out, and you're listening to Built for This Network. Yes, sir. Home the building, stay bomb.
It's official. Style Guys is trending for the holiday season. Located 1252 Burnham Ave in Calumet City. Being black owned and operated with new items weekly, in store, and even online. And with over 50,000 followers online, you can't miss out. Sales going on till 2022. Like jogging suits, hoodies, t-shirts, Jordan Craig, smoke rise, crisp, sweaters, and so much more. So beat the lines and order online from Style Guys, 1252 Burnham Ave in Calumet City. Contact them today at 708-801-9481. Again, 708-801-9481. Or check them out from Tuesday to Saturday from noon to 7 p.m. or Sundays from noon to 5 p.m. Style Guys, 1252 Burnham Ave in Calumet City. Life, fashion, style. Follow some of the newest styles by Style Guys in Calumet City. Lock in The Style Guys on IG or look them up, thestyleguys.com. Gone wild!
Feeling myself, but I stay in my lane. I know you thinking you nice, but you sounding the same. He need to switch up his flow, but I know that he ain't. Maybe he want to and probably can't. He talk a lot, but ain't saying a word. He's 16, sounding like he be lacing his herb. Reggie Rock told me time to just focus and spit. Quit worrying about the niggas abandoning ship. I dropped broken and they told me quit biting your tongue. The way you writing sounded like you forgot where you from. Say you from the hood, but you sound like a minister now. Yeah, I could take it there, but shit, I just like how this sound. I should address some of this drama, but letting it go. Shit, I can't keep playing with you niggas, I'm getting too old. The last words Bone told me I never forget. Quit playing with this music and do it to death. Shit, I came back.
You are listening to the End of the Bench podcast on Built for This Network, hosted by my man HRap.
This is HRap. This is the End of the Bench podcast on Built for This Network. Thank you for joining us. It is HRap and B. This is the podcast about a conversation between two grown men, 51 and 28. Me and my son, BJ. Before I do that, I want to acknowledge everybody in my family, all my ancestors that is connected to anybody and everybody that's around me. That is the Pollard, Whitmore, Patterson, Turner, Battle, Cotton, Harper, Bailey, Shaw, Walker, Thompson, Chris, Lansdowne, Ligon, Duncan, Trotter, Brandon, Brandy, Locke, Wilson, Johnson, and Williams clan. We are
Give me 1 second, man. Give me a second.
Damn it, man. I'm muted too. A whole lot of stuff, y'all. I said all the normal stuff. That's all y'all missed. The normal stuff. The man was holding us back, B.
Yeah, it was the feds.
No, that was me. I was on mute. That wasn't you. That was me.
Right. I'm like, oh man, the feds done had to switch the tape again.
It is. And you know, when your technology go wrong, the feds switching the tape. My man. But as usual,
when the technology mess up, that's the feds. They gotta switch the tape. They already
switch the tape. Mute their stuff. Okay, we back. But as usual, we acknowledge our ancestors as the Pollard, Whitmore, Turner, Patterson, Battle, Cotton, Harper, Bailey, Chris, Lansdowne, Liggett, Shaw, Walker, Trotter, Brandon, Brandy, Johnson, Wilson, Johnson, Wilson, Williams, and Lott. We in the building. Thank y'all for tuning in. Always subscribe, like, comment. Built for this network on all podcast network, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you download your favorite podcast. Is me and my son. I'm B. I'm HRap. I'm HRap. He is
Wise Guy BJ coming to you live.
You ain't so wise, Negro. Where you get that nonsense from? Anyway, man, tonight we're gonna talk about the streets.
The streets.
A lot of young people have turned to the streets. I have been introduced to this saying. There's one saying, and people talk about violence, and people, how can they kill each other? How can they do this? How can they do that? Because without any hope, you can have no remorse. If you think you dying today, why would I not end somebody's life today and both of us gone tomorrow? So I'm gonna ask a series of questions to my son. He is 28 years old. I am 51. You know, he ain't as slick, but you know. Thank you, Alfred. He ain't slick as me, but you know.
Thank you, Coleman.
Who you say?
Coleman.
Oh, Lord. I get a butler, you get a butler. Okay.
That's cool.
Anyway, man, the first question I'm gonna ask you today is about street life. Street life. As I said, man, these young people are in the streets. We've talked about this before. A lot of young people have turned to the streets. The question I have for you, do you think today's youth think the streets are the only possible or only viable option? Talk to me.
Yes, I do. The youth of today don't have nobody or no guidance, no guidance. We can just go there. And the reason I say that is because growing up where I grew up in Cabrini area. Didn't grow up in Cabrini Green. It was a little small project. Yes, it was a project. I don't care what nobody say, Mom.
That's your mama, man.
That was
your
a
mama
project.
said we didn't grow up in the project, but I know we did.
I think we did too. But hey, yeah. I make dreams. I don't crush them. As nuts say, I sell dreams. I don't crush them.
Hey, there you go.
But it was certain things that went on in that area, in that community, that like you just couldn't join gangs or just do stupid stuff. Like you have to go off and do something stupid because that community was like, you Nikki's son, you B son, like what you doing? And I get a phone call, and I'm in trouble before 6 o'clock, and it's 12 o'clock, and it's like I ain't even did nothing for real. I didn't even get a chance to do what I wanted to do anyway to be in this gang or whatever I wanted to do. So yes, and then there's just no guidance whatsoever. And then nowadays, like I had like Terry, Big Mo. You probably know him on Facebook. Of course you do. He's always Big Mo, Big C. So they were super gang bangers. But when they seen me outside, it's like, go on back to business, BJ. Like, we know who your mama and daddy is. They ain't playing that.
Right.
But when they were going off to jail because they were doing what they were doing, you had a younger generation of them who really just didn't care. See, they cared to see me not in trouble. Like, come on, BJ. Then you got the generation around, because let's just say they were in their 25. They was like 25. So when they go to jail, who running they set? Another 20-year-old who don't got the same morals as them. And then they putting them in jail for 15, 20 years. And now you got another 20-year-old, no morals, no nothing. And he going, hey, you know what, BJ? You want to be a Cobra? Come on. You want to be a Stone? Let's get it. You want to be a Vice Lord? Come on, let's get it. And that's what's going on with the youth now. And there's no structure in what they're doing at all. It's, you know what? We losing the game war. How old you is? 15? Here go a gun. Come stand with me.
Yeah. I remember. I mean, yeah, man. I've told you about these things before we even start. I want to salute to my main man, Walt. Yeah, it was Old Town Garden. We was there. It's Marshall Field Guards now, Walt, but it was Old Town Gardens then. I mean, when it was real, we keep it real. But on the serious side, I want to say salute to my man Walt, my sister Teddy, my man Chef D, Black Swan in the building. I got Ron in the building, Charlotte in the building. We got my man Doc in the building. Big Illinois in the building, man. Show Killer, DJ Mad Knox in the building. Built for this network is always in the building for show. And that's about it. But yeah, man, I mean, that's the difference in the streets now.
Can't hear you. You on mute?
They must be changing the tape again. But did you hear anything I said?
Nothing. After you shouted everybody out, it went straight mute.
Oh, okay. The white man. You know who that is. WDM. The white man.
White man.
DWM. My man D graded the building. And as again, man, that was the beautiful part of growing up in the 80s. There was structure. Shout out to my man Walter, if you didn't hear me. Shout out to Sister Teddy. If y'all didn't hear me, everybody, you said after I said everybody's name.
Everybody, after you said everybody's name, that's exactly what it went.
Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on that. Good looking out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, that was the structure in our community. I always go back. Anytime you talk about structure, I go back to Fred Thomas, Willie Green. Shout out to both of them, man. Jimmy Fields, rest in peace. And they pay. You know how like now you all have to pay for tournament. I remember you started playing Little League. Me and your mama had to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Thomas, Jim, and Booch, they paid for us. All we had to do was go get a physical. They paid for everything. And I can remember, I ain't gonna say no names because he's still in these streets and he's doing his thing. But I remember this one dude, he was the leader of the GDs.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime we got near the GDs, homeboy be like, hey man, why don't you catch up with your crowd, man? Catch up with your crowd. Go on over there with Jim and them, man. This ain't for you. And you're right. I remember literally, I was 19 years old at the time. As a matter of fact, I was 19, but I was going to turn 20. It's the day your mother graduated from high school. And me and Big Illinois sitting on the stoop. And the day before, the Vice Lords and the Blackstones got into a fight. And they walked around the block and they identified Big Illinois as Keith's little brother. I ain't had no big brothers in the hood. And my man just looked at me. You a Stone, be at the next meeting. And I was like, no, I ain't, man. I said, y'all lost yesterday. If anything, I'm going to be a Vice Lord. But I was a grown man at the time. You ain't even punk me into no game. Because, again, I had Theodis. I remember when I was a little boy, Theodis, the Theodis that you know ain't the Theodis that I grew up with. Theodis that I grew up with was connected to the streets. You'd have heard the story. You'd have heard him tell the stories. Theodis was connected to the street. Shout out to our Uncle Theodis. And I remember reciting the words from Cooley High, the gang bang scene in Cooley High. They was at the show. He said, man, get up out my seat. He said, who's going to stop me? You and what army? He said, me and this army. He said, D-Cypher. And all the folks stood up. And I'm quoting the movie. Theodis grabbed me in the collar. You in the gang? I'm like, man, I'm reciting the movie. So that's the structure. That's that guidance. That's that whole thing that is lacking. And like you said, I remember you told me you knew Clarence Hangston. And I'm like, you know Bookie C? He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. And he knew me and Vince. So you didn't have to worry about that. You even knew your aunt's dad's best friend. You didn't know. You was like, yeah, man, Wild Bill be talking crazy. I'm like, you don't want to get smart with him, BJ. Why, man, he be talking crazy. I was like, that's your grandmama's ex-husband's best friend. You don't, and again, it's all the structure around you when you grew up, and you're right, man. These dudes will put a semi-automatic weapon in a 5-year-old's hand. And I mean, we know people, I can remember people getting arrested at 9. And from your age group, and I'm like, at 9? And this ain't it was like insane. We got Lil Mama, aka Tiki, aka Teresa Rucker in the building. Good to see you.
Yeah.
And that was just
you're absolutely right. I remember I knew Bookie C's son, and we grew up together. But then when Bookie C got out of jail around the time Obama was in office, when they was letting out all them drug kingpins, I met him then because I was working at the store. So he came in and what's the name of this Bookie C? I said, "Oh man, I know your son." I was like, "Man," and even he had did like a 20-year bid at that point. Mm-hmm. And even when I was talking to him, he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm glad you stayed out the street, man, because my son, man, that man crazy, man." It was like, and you could see it was some structure from even at that point, like 20 years later, you still saying, "Hey, man, I'm glad you did what you did, and man, them niggas over there doing what they doing, and man, keep up what you got, what's going on."
And you know the funny thing, and that's a 180 from who Bookie C was when me and Vince. Well, I knew him growing up. Vince met him in the county jail. Tell you about that. Vince was arrested for whatever reason. I don't want to tell everybody why Vince got arrested, so was arrested, but he said they were in like a semicircle in the pit, and everybody. Shout out to the captain of forecast, BS3. He in the building. Good to see you. I remember Vince telling me the story. Vince got arrested for some nonsense. He was sitting in the county, and he said everybody's sitting in the county jail going, "Hey, man." He said a lot of them was in there for the same thing. They was like, "Hey, man, if I get out of this, I ain't never doing this again. I'm done. I'm out." He said, to a man, everybody said that. But Bookie, he said, "Man, this dude from your hood." He was like, "Not me. It's going down when I get out of here." And that's what he did. I mean,
you know what's crazy?
He took over the hood.
You said what year he said that?
He said that in 88.
And didn't get out.
You're talking about 08.
I ain't talking about then. I'm talking about it was like 2015.
right. Yeah, he did get out around that time. So yeah.
You talking about it's still on. Let's show you what type of nigga he was.
Yeah. Hey, that word. Thank you, Alfred.
But yeah, that show you what type.
You let Coleman off too early, man. No, Alfred is always working.
Coleman cool. Coleman cooking.
But yeah, man. So it's strange. But the sad part is, man. Okay, there I know, and we ain't gonna say his name no more because we know we don't need nobody to arrest him. That's what I'm at. But the sad thing was, it was people in our community who were enthralled into that gang culture. And if you didn't want no part of it, they was done. I remember this one dude who did a legit quarter. And he said one of the dudes rolled back up on him after he did a quarter. And he was like, "You could be the chief." He said, he told him, "Well, good game, wrong lane." Sure. He told him he's out. And, and this dude did a quarter for that organization. And he was just like, "Hey, man, I did what I needed to do." And they wasn't recruiting those kinds of people, and not everybody's being recruited. And I just don't understand it. I just don't understand how. The question I really want to know, and I'm quite sure you probably have wondered this too: where the uncles at? Where the big brothers at? Where the cousins at? Because hey, man, one thing about Chicago, you can't sling a rock without hitting somebody's family member. If you threw a rock up in the middle of a crowd, you're gonna hit 50% of the people in that crowd relate.
So let me touch bases on that. So the point I made where the recruitment is, that was my generation.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say anywhere between Juju and about me. Anywhere from Bria, which is Juju is and what Juju's got to be about 32, 33.
Yeah, Juju about 32, 33.
Yeah, so anywhere between Juju.
Because Nut is 30, right?
Nut is 30.
Yeah, Juju 32. Well, Juju about 32.
Yeah, so anywhere between Juju to me, which is 32, which is roughly
28.
to 28. That's where the recruitment was coming in at. From Bria, which is 25 on down, there's no such thing as a recruitment. Nobody's having gang meeting. Nobody coming to say, come be on this clip. What's going on with their situation is it's literal hurt in their situation. Meaning, I was just looking up. I didn't forget about the show today, but I wasn't really thinking about it. I was looking up some documentaries about Chicago and a couple of Chicago coaching the gang wars that's been going on, and they stem from this neighborhood was this, so now I'm kicking it with this, and now I'm in this, and instead of saying, and like you said, where the big brothers at, the big brothers is gone, the uncles are gone, because they didn't honestly, and it's a sad fact, they killing them off.
We're incarcerating them.
Yeah. I'm talking about the people in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Like like you said, they incarcerate them. Like, so there's no recruiting no more. It's like straight, oh, you my friend? Yeah. Now we the Cicero boys.
So it ain't gangs, it's crews.
Yeah, because if it was gangs, it would honestly have, I know a lot of people may disagree with me on this. If there were gangs, it would be a lot more structure.
Mm-hmm.
There are laws with these gangs. When you got a crew, it's you and 6 other people with a gun. You are the 4 people with a gun and a mission to go get some more money at all means. What a structure in that.
Yeah. And see, like a lot of people, I tell a lot of people, like, shout out to D Great. I just posted his comment. I tell a lot of people, like, D Great, man, Chicago, the gang culture is like a paramilitary organization. They have meetings. They have dietary restrictions. Like when I was growing up, gangs had dietary restrictions. You couldn't be a Vice Lord, Blackstone, Cobra Stone, and eat pork.
Not at all.
You couldn't eat pork.
Or I think it was fish too.
Yeah, no, that's the GDs. The GDs, you couldn't eat fish if you was a GD. And you couldn't have under, you ready for this, people? You couldn't have under a 2.5 GPA. And if you were 18 and you were GD, you had to be registered to vote.
Right. So back to my original point, if there were more gangs,
yeah, the situation would be way different.
It would be a lot different. If anything, I know it's gonna sound crazy, bring back the gangs.
At this point, yeah. At some point, I mean, and the random acts of violence were way lower when it was actually gangs. Because, like I tell people all the time, when you're on the west side, when you see the people on the south side has always been a different can of worms.
Man,
but like when you're on the south side, somebody gets shot. It's like, we don't know what happened, and everybody crying and falling out. And then they go to the news on the west side. Somebody gets shot. They go,
"That was love."
Yeah, that was horrible. And then when the cameras go away, you in the barbershop or you on the court or whatever, you on the corner. People like, man, homeboy earned that bullet. He got what he was looking for. So that's what the gang situation brought about. I mean, it ain't no secret. Like back in the day, it wasn't no secret who shot who. I remember that young Sanders got killed, and the word went out on the street. Hey, you better turn yourself in before we do something to your family. And next day, homeboy went to the police station because it was a situation. And a lot of people don't want to believe it, but the locking up of the gang chiefs and the gang hierarchy, I'm forced to believe that was not just, hey, man, we clean up the streets. Because when you lock up off the head of the snake.
That was to promote chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. Chaos and mass confusion because it was just too organized. And I'm not trying to make gang banging. We're not trying to make gang banging seem as if it's some thing to do. But hell, if the streets had more control, and the sad part is this. Everybody was up in arms this year about 700 murders, which was the highest in about 20 years, 20 years, the highest that we've seen in a very long time. And the sad thing is this, it's two things. University of Chicago had a study, I'm going to talk about this next Tuesday, and they did a study and they showed these gang prevention programs, these street prevention programs, when they are implemented, less people get shot and the recidivism rate goes down. So if you're not putting money into those programs, then you are asking people in the street to die. And it's a horrible situation, and we need to figure out another way to do it. What we need to do is reinvest in our young people. If we reinvest in our young people instead of, hey man, you pull your pants up. Because look, man, I can relate, man. I can relate. See, I'm at the generation like, you talked about you, Juju, you, Nut, Juju, Bria, right? You talk that's this y'all crew. That's me and my sister's children, right? I was the Bo, Eric, Lynn, Craig. That's the generation before me. They were suited and booted all the time. They never wore sneakers. They wore pants every day. They wore shirts every day. They dressed like they were they would come outside and hang out on the block looking like they were going to work. That was their thing. They might wear a little gold chain or something. Everybody looked very professional. Everybody was buttoned up. And when me and my crew, me, Mike, Vince, Pam, we came along, the dress code was lax. It was jeans and T-shirt. My mother used to look at me like I was outside of my freaking mind when I walked out the house without some clothes, as she would say, with some real clothes on, right? Mm-hmm. And so we were criticized. What the hell do you have on, man? Like, I remember my mother, me wearing sneakers every day. My mother's like, you ain't going to the gym? I'm like, all right, Mom. Like, so I get it. I don't understand the pants hanging off the butt, but I do understand the concept of a fashion statement that the others don't get. So we looking down on it. And what we need to do as a community, as a culture and a community, is remember being criticized. I remember literally Bo looking at me shaking, because Bo used to be sharp every day. Well, Bo sharp to this day.
Yeah.
Bo used to be sharp every day.
Be honest with you, I've never not seen her sharp. Yeah.
So just imagine your sister, at the time, Marshall Fields was the Macy's of the world. People used to fly into Chicago to shop at Marshall Fields. That was Bo hangout. Imagine somebody shopping in all designer stuff and their brother got on a sweatsuit. She used to look at me like, and I used to be like, shut up. So, not saying that she was wrong, but she didn't get why I was dressing the way I was dressing, because they were taught to wear skirts and pants and shirt and blouses and wear purses and look like a young ladies. And I was looking like somebody. At the end of the day, believe it or not, BJ, sweatsuits were hoodlum clothes. They considered that. You look like a hoodlum. Mm-hmm. You look like a thug. A thug was an insult back in the day. Call somebody a thug, you insult them. Even if they were a thug, that was an insult. So I understand the culture shift. What we have to do as elders and adults, like I'm a middle-aged person. We got elders and young adults. You, Jew, Peanut, y'all crew, Bria. It's hard to think of Bria as an adult, but hell, she'd be 25 years old this year. Y'all, what we have to do is stop. Again, I keep saying this. We have to stop talking at people, at young people, start talking to people, because I remember Bo looking at me, shaking her head like, oh, look how you dress. And my mama saying, hey, how you dress? And I'm like, oh, God.
And not only
when y'all go home, where y'all going? Why don't you go back home, Bo? Or Mom, why don't you go home in the house? I ain't changing. So I get it. And I remember that. And what we have to do as middle-aged people have to remember that feeling that we have. Go ahead.
As well as talking to them, you got to enforce too. Because you got to realize that at the end of the day, these are still kids. If you look on the statistics of the robberies and the shootings, we talking about 15, 16. I didn't even seem to get down to 13-year-olds taking these.
12.
I'm talking personally, yeah, but yeah, 12. And you have to enforce this stuff too. Like, hey man, get off that too. On top of, hey man, I'm gonna talk to you like you're an adult. And I'm gonna give you all the respect. And guess what? You gonna stop it. You got to enforce it too, because they're still kids. Because like you said, we just shaking our heads. Nah, what it is. No. Y'all want to be treated like adults. You'll be talked to like adults. We gonna respect you like adults. But we stand, as my generation say, we go stand on business. Hey man, y'all gonna cut this out.
And that's the thing, man. We do too much criticizing instead of communicating. And until we start communicating, because I remember when I used to be super hard on you about your grades, I remember everybody, nobody listened to me because I was just mean ass Brian. And I used to tell them, well, maybe BJ ain't just good at that. I'm like, I used to be like, hey, y'all get the hell out of here. BJ smarter than me. I'm like, the fact that he manipulates y'all, got y'all believe he can't do this work, is proof positive this boy's smarter than all y'all. But nobody wanted to hear it. And
yeah, because it'd be like I got a D. Oh, you finna go to summer school. BJ, no outside, no car, no nothing. Oh, this man tripping. I'll be right back. He gonna be.
right.
This work.
right. Hey, that's all. I remember your mama. Hey, she was giving you that. That's my baby. I'm like, your baby tricking you. And I was, man, one of the proudest moments. We're gonna move. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about this. One of the proudest moments in my life was one day me, you, and your mama sitting in the front room. Bria was in her room. And then we was watching some movie, and your mama cracked a little snide. She had a little snide remark. And we was watching some movie, and the man had a second child come to his funeral. And she said, yeah, BJ, that might be your daddy one day. And I told her, hey, BJ, let me tell you something. I don't give a damn if I die 100 years from now. Somebody walk up to you and say, I'm your daddy's son. If it ain't Bria, they ain't kidding you. We laugh.
I'm the daddy of the kid.
Yeah, right.
What? No, I'm Terry. Oh no, brother. I don't know.
Yeah, right. You ain't Bria, so y'all don't want to hear it. But and then some other happened, and it came about school. No, I cracked on you. I say, see, that's why he don't get no good grades. And your grades was up by then, and we all laughed. And she's like, nah, that's cause of you. And you was like, nah, ma, I used to play you. And I wasn't dancing physically, but in my head, I was like, in your face. I had been waiting 30 years. You weren't even 30 years old. Y'all had been waiting 30 years to hear that. I was. Yeah. Anyway, this drug dealing and this drug using. Like, okay, back in the day when I was coming up, you had drug dealing was territorial. You had to be. I got my man, number one Chief Rocker, Jersey Fern. He coming back soon, people. Y'all get ready for the comeback. He been here for years. Built for this network is always in the building, as I said. Drug dealing used to be a territorial thing. You literally had to be, if you were on a gang set, which was throughout the entire city, selling drugs, you had to pay the gang to sell drugs on that. And then you had to be a part of the gang, and that was just it. Now, not only is drug dealing, tell me the situation with drug dealing in the street and drug use. Because that baffled me. Like the cool wannabe player dudes, they was hustlers, and they sniff it once in a while, and then 5 years later, they was addicted. But now, like, we watched the thing, like Charlotte has brought up several times, Juice WRLD. And we watching that documentary, and drug use is cool. And so what's the drug dealer, drug use thing, or where they getting these drugs at? Because y'all use it. You see, y'all took it back to the 70s. See, when I came up, people started to go into this cocaine thing. And then they started going, it was called freebase. Like, they went from cocaine use to freebase. And then media got hold to it. I will never forget this, a show called 2020. And they did an expo. This new social drug, crack, And it was new to everybody. So I'm watching it, and it was all white people using it. And then crack hit the hood. They used to call it Ready Rocks in Chicago. I don't know what they call it throughout the nation. And then, it became this phenomenon where people getting all sorts of money. Y'all took it back to the 70s with the cough syrup, with the codeine cough syrup, and the pills. Talk to me about what's going on with that and how's this thing working and what's the whole process? Help us understand.
Drug dealing? It used to be like that when I was a kid, because I remember, like you said, you couldn't just sell it anywhere. And you really kind of can't anymore unless you a plug. Like, if I have the best product, and then you know what? I can stand on 63rd and do this. Because guess what? All I got to do is cut them in on what I have. Whether that be crack, weed, heroin, whatever it is. If I got the best, don't nobody care about it no more. Like you said, from what I'm getting from you, it used to be like a sign of respect. Like, all right, I got to pay you to use this, but okay, cool.
No, it wasn't even a sign of respect. It was a sign of you had to do this or you were going to die. Because you were standing outside on Cedric, you standing on Hudson. So
yeah, you couldn't just be from.
Yeah, you couldn't be that.
From let's just say Evergreen and.
No, if you on Hudson, you had to pay the Vice Lords. You was on Cedric, you had to play Blackstones, period.
Exactly. But it's kind of not like that right now. And then the drug dealer has gotten so crazy because now what they're doing is they're using social media to sell these drugs. So I don't really even need a block anymore. If I got the balls enough to go and put up 12 pounds of weed, and I got 5,000 followers, 5,000 avid followers, and they go, oh, snap. That look like a good girl. BJ, where you at? Hey, meet me over here. I just made a serve in the middle of the street. Who I have to pay? So that's like literally almost 99% of it right there in the bag.
So help me understand this pill craze. Because again, it's not like the pill thing crazy. Remember I used to introduce you to those old school shows, the show Taxi. When the dude was like, what does a yellow? That dude was used to use pills. They used to call barbiturates, uppers and downers, whatever.
I got
How did that come back?
I got a family member. Not gonna say their name. Pills. I honestly cannot remember a time in my life I didn't see pills. I got a family member in my family. Not gonna say which side, who it is, but that I know it's nothing new. I literally asked them when that Molly thing had like hit the scene.
I remember that.
I say, hey, you ever tried Molly? I said, man, I was doing that before it was cool. So again, that's nothing new. It's just, you know what ruined people on drug? I mean, you know what kicked it off with drug use? Music.
Talk to me.
The rap game did. You got your Lil Waynes, you got your Futures, you got your Rick Rosses. Like these were advocate drug users, and you used to be, and this is where the family thing comes in line, because you used to tell me they didn't do it. You're like, come on, BJ, they not doing this. Ooh. But as I got older, I did realize they were doing this because you would hear about Lil Wayne having seizures in the middle of the air. So these are the things. But I'm like, okay, as I'm old, I'm like, oh, he was protecting me from this.
Right.
It wasn't they wasn't doing it. It's just like, if I can get BJ to believe that this is a hoax, then he ain't gonna do it. And then when he do realize it ain't a hoax and go, you know what?
It's too late.
He lied to me. I want to try it. You hear somebody, hey man, you hear about Lil Wayne and fell out off that codeine? Right.
And because you're right. You're right. That's exactly what I did. I just told you lies to protect you because I knew, look, 99% of the people in the world, as a matter of fact, one of my brethren in hip hop is my main man, Big Illinois. Me and him was talking 2 nights ago. He didn't even know that Method Man's nickname means lacy. When the Wu-Tang Clan first came out, he was called the Tacalian Stallion. And everybody thought that was just some cool stuff to say, like Tacal. And he even has, and on his first album, it's a sketch. And he goes, what's that shit that you be smoking? To Cal is lace it backward. So I knew that they were doing it, but people, we didn't glorify you. I mean, hip hop, one of the few forms of art that told you not to use drugs. And so I was always wondering, like, when did this?
The Lil Waynes and the what's name, like, everybody wants to have a good time. I remember in my generation, this is when it went crazy. It was around 2012, 13, and 14. That's when drug use in the culture was at an all-time high. It was to a point where if you didn't do it, you was a square. If you didn't smoke weed, you was looked at like, oh, okay, you're a drinker. I don't do that either. What's wrong with you? You Muslim? But no, on a serious note, but that's when I can honestly say I had the most. I didn't try to do drugs, but I can honestly say I had the most fun of my life because anybody who tell you party with me, I'm a drinker now, but back then I had a natural high. Like, oh, you partying because you off the drug? I can party harder than you, man. I ain't off nothing.
Yeah.
So around that time, it was just a lot of music glorifying, hey, this is what we doing, and this is how we having this much fun. Okay. And people said, you look like you having fun. Pop a pill.
We got Golden Brooks, aka P. in the building. We see you.
And then a lot of people, and I want to say this too. A lot of my friends who go look at this later. A lot of people weak too, because they using these drugs to cope. Because I'm not glorifying this in no means, but I don't understand how y'all taking these drugs to make y'all feel like crap. I can understand the upper, but a downer, I just can't get with that. I'm not taking nothing that make me feel like I'm trying to fall asleep and like trash. Like, come on now. At least when they was taking the ecstasy, it was like, woo, we can drink. Like, I got friends that told me, like, man, off this, you got the best sex of your life. You can drink. I done drunk 2/5 off this, and the party just don't stop. Man, that sounds cool. I mean,
it does. When you that age, it does.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, like you said, at that age, I'm 21, 22, and I'm going, that don't sound like a bad thing. Like, why not? But yeah, the downer thing, the Zans, and I just don't get that one. That one I can't explain. Like, I've always vividly heard you on your shows talk about Juice WRLD, like, and that's why I say they weak, because it's like you can't cope with certain things. And I understand certain life gets a hold of you, and it's hard. Nobody ever gave out a blueprint to this, or nobody ever even said, hey, this may happen. And then when it happened, it might get worse, then worse, and then a little bit worse after that. So I get it, but it's like, man, it ain't getting no better. High as a kite.
Okay. I got one thing I want you to never say again. Never say somebody who using drugs is weak. The reason I want you to say that is this. See, that's the problem. The problem is we look down at people. We look down our nose at people who using drugs and trying drugs and things like that to escape. We don't know what they're escaping. And see, the thing is, man, we cope with things differently. The reason we look down on drug addicts is because the world, the social structure has told us that's the worst thing you can do. And we see people walking around as zombies. We see people losing weight. We see people throw their lives away. But this is what I want you to also think about. Who the hell wakes up and says, you know, I'm finna start doing this. And next thing you know, I'm going to be blowing dudes.
Exactly. I mean, I understand that part. I'm not saying weak to look down at them. I'm saying this is weak. Maybe I should have phrased it better, but I'm saying
whack.
Yeah.
Whack.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, I understand. I completely understand that, because if you listen to the average person of my generation's story and what they've went through, you take your purple pills in your life too.
Yeah, that's exactly that was the point I was trying to make. We don't know what people are dealing with. See, there are different coping mechanisms that people use, and like me, I was diagnosed. I'm gonna give some people a peek into my life. I was diagnosed with diabetes yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what that means? I'm addicted to junk food. I'm addicted to snacks. I'm addicted to juice and soda and things like that. And I knew, see, look, here's the thing. We don't look down on cigarette smokers, right? And on the package, it literally says, this shit'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
We don't look down at obese people like myself. And we know, dude, they used to call it the sugar or consumption when I was a kid. I knew if I continued to eat the way I was eating, I was going to end up with high blood pressure and diabetes. Now, over the last 8 months, I done had a rough patch. I done been hit by a car twice. You know, I done been in 2 accidents, and I ain't been able to work out like I was doing. You've seen me drop 100 pounds like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I didn't stop. Knowing that I was morbidly obese, way bigger than I was at least. Remember, I was about this big. I remember one time you stopped by the house. And then you must have went to your mama's house and said, "What's up, Flat Tie? He in the building." You went to your mama's house and commented that I lost. Is dad? You asked up, is dad sick? Because he weighs skinny, and it was just I was working out and eating right. And then I get hurt, and then I go back to it, and guess what? I'm in a bad situation. I'm gonna pull myself back out of. So, but people don't look at me like I'm bad. But at the end of the day, I'm actually dumber than the actual drug addict. You want me to tell you why? Because I knew better. Yeah. I knew better. See, don't nobody wake up in the morning and go, and go, yeah, man, it's going down. Any day now, I'll be out here funky as hell, funky as a fat man's drawers, and I'll be fucked up. Don't nobody do that. But every time it was 2:00 in the morning, I opened up a bag of chips and didn't sleep, aiding diabetes, didn't get enough rest, didn't drink enough water, aiding diabetes, eating red meat, aiding diabetes, not getting no exercise, aiding diabetes. I knew all this stuff. So actually, me being diagnosed with diabetes, luckily it ain't the type 2 that you can't get rid of. It's the type 1 that if I get up off my ass, which I've already started, I can beat it. But hey man, there's some people right now that's hearing this eating diabetic aid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let's never call anybody who addicted to drugs weak or soft or stupid, because if anything, I'm weak. I'm soft. I'm stupid because I knew better, didn't do better. And when you know better, don't do better, you the biggest damn fool in the history of the world. And I'm in the building for that one. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But we're not gonna point the finger, because see, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we was even talking about that whole situation. And they were saying the problem is people don't listen to you. You don't have nobody to go talk to. And if we're gonna look at somebody like if I'm overweight. I'm about 35 pounds overweight. And if I could talk to somebody and say, man, I need to get it in order. And they're going to go, yeah. Or when somebody's struggling with that drug addiction, you know what people say? Why are you even doing it? Why the fuck am I eating a big bag of Doritos? Why am I eating a bag of Doritos instead of a little bag of Doritos? Why am I drinking a 2-liter instead of drinking some water? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So those are the things that we want to get away from. That way people, like we keep saying, these young people need support. People in general need support. You need to be able to call somebody and vent. It's not a complaint, folks. It's me getting it off my spirit so it won't bother me. Oh, man, because like when you tell somebody, like I tell somebody, I was in a car accident. At least you ain't died. Fuck that. My back killing me. I want to get at least I ain't died shit. Let me get this off my chest.
I hate that, man. Could have been way worse. It could have been, but it wasn't. And I still feel like I'm dead anyway.
Right. This back right now. I'm in pain, Jack. You did? I'm in pain right now. My back is killing me. Because I ain't finna take them drugs. They want me to take drugs 3 times a day. I'll be out there naked. I'll be skinny being. I'll be skinny as hell then.
Man.
But, you know.
Yeah, and I get it too, because and one thing I will applaud my generation on, let's just say it's 10 people in my generation. At least when they were drug heavy, they grew out of it. That was like, all right, that was just a phase. That was just something we did when we was 21. Like, I don't know too many just avid drug users no more.
Yeah.
That's one thing I can't applaud. It's like, if it was 10 of us doing it, it's probably maybe 4 still even like avid.
Or 3.
Yeah, just avidly doing it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People
like,
graduate. It's more people that didn't graduate out of drug addiction that didn't graduate out of snack addiction. I ain't been fat for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, listen, people, when I knock the rest of this weight off, like I know I'm gonna do, but people like Rhonda, people like Big Illinois, it's people that don't even recognize me at this size. People used to see me 220 pounds, 270, 280, 290 pounds. Insane. And people, man, you wear it well. See, look at that. You wear death well.
I've had that. People tell me that all the time.
Listen to that, man. You wear shit that's killing you well. Shit that's gonna get you cancer. Shit that's gonna get you what's the shit called? Colon cancer. Shit that's gonna give you a heart attack. Shit gonna raise your clean. You looking good. You fat as hell. Somebody on drugs. You the worst motherfucker in the world. No, man. This shit is the same, man. People get stressed out and go eat.
You know what? And you know what's crazy about that? And I meant to say this too. We got to get that out of our system too. This is better than this. No, it's all bad. Like, and that was a number one reason. That's the number one reason drug use in my generation became what it was, because it was. I ain't on crack.
Yeah, I heard that.
I ain't on heroin. Bro, you see how he falling over at the bus stop? That was you at the party last night on some random chick.
Right.
I only drink lean. He do crack every day. I drink lean on the weekends. What?
You drink enough lean for his whole week of crack, though.
Right. Like, come on now. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's definitely one thing we got to get out our mind. Like, no, it's all bad.
Yeah. I mean, see, this again, people hate that I do this now, but this goes right back into the church, man. You ain't got to really be spiritual. You ain't got to be religious. You ain't got to be a Christian, Muslim, Jew, Gentile. You can be whatever you want to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you read those books, it tells you, like, you look at it like lying, stealing, killing. No sin is greater than the other. Molly, perk, crack, heroin, same thing. No drug is greater than or worse than the other. So if we're gonna judge people, look. Shout out to the Super MC Chuck D. He posted this on Twitter. This is why I like Twitter. I'm fucking around leave Twitter soon. He's put this on Twitter the other day, and hopefully this can help everybody who's listening. The next time you get ready to talk about somebody, think about the 5 worst things about yourself before you say one word bad about them. And more than likely, you will shut the hell up. More than likely, you will shut the hell up. With that being said, we got a couple more questions. It's almost time to go. Have you ever been tempted? Be honest. Have you ever been tempted to get high or try some of this stuff?
Yeah, I wanted to. I wanted to bad. Be honest with you, I don't know why. I wanted to. I've never tried. I never wanted to do, like I said, like we just said, nothing is better than the other. But if I was going to try something, it wasn't going to be a down. It was going to definitely be an up. It was going to be some ecstasy or something. And I wanted to try that very, very badly. And for some odd reason, I could never do it. But trust and believe, I could have gotten a stupid amount of it. Like, I'm talking about, I knew some people. Not going to say their names, but I could have got enough for, we could have went to a barbecue and everybody could have been high. And they had so much respect for my cousins, Peanut, Juju, and there's so much respect for Holly and Tiffany that they wasn't gonna give me no garbage. They was gonna be like, this what's the name people? Yeah. Make sure he get right. Don't get him that crap we giving everybody else.
Right. Yeah. One of the things that may have stopped you is I remember one day I was talking to you and Bria, and I said, "Hey man, I was talking to y'all about drugs," and y'all was like, we was talking. I said, "Y'all asked me why did I never use drugs?" I said, "Shout out to Jay Brown in the building, was good, man." I said one of the things that stopped me from getting high is because people used to use the terminology. And y'all was like, what's the terminology? I said, what they used to say. Hey, man, let's go get fucked up. I said, I don't get fucked up. that don't sound good to me.
I mean, it may have been, but it's just.
I'm just saying, that may have played a role in it.
Yeah, I said, you might be 100% right. It's just, I just never brought myself to go, all right, let's wait for it.
Yeah. I was going to use acid once, and then, unlike most people who are going to try drugs, I said, what's the side effects? And dude said, well, my car breathed once. My car was breathing, and the refrigerator winked at me. And I was like, and on that note, I'm out.
And you know what? That probably was it. You know what? That's it, to be honest with you. That's why I didn't try them drugs. It's because I said, what do I do? I mean, what happens? What's the side effect? Man, you just be feeling good. Okay, after that, man, you be in your car. I feel like you driving a spaceship. I said, nah, that don't. I said, I'm not the best driver. You can look at my car right now and tell you ain't the best driver. So I'm going to talk my way out of this, and I'm already have the kite if I crash this car. Like, I'm going to tell the police anything. And then it was like, it just, the side effects for a lot of this stuff just wasn't doing it for me. Like, I had friends, they hit it, they wouldn't stop talking. It's like, man, and like I said, the downers, they going to sleep. And it's like, it just never made good sense to me because it used to be people that I know y'all can't be in the street. And I know that's how your friend, I mean, not your friends, but people your generation, like, yes, they catch you. We have t-shirts and you out here has a kite falling over sleep like that don't seem too smart. But no, I would lie to you if I tell you I didn't want to. I just never did it. Then the people that was around me never did it either. Like, I'm with Peanut 99% of the week. He didn't do it. So I'm like, well, he cool to me. And if he ain't did it, and if Juju did it, he never told us he did it. And I'm like, Juju super cool. So this ain't me.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, I was tempted. Like his name's Scott Jordan. This white boy, man. Funny story. He had interracial brothers and sisters, and they used to call him the Hunky Devil. And he liked the nickname Dumbass. And he's the one who introduced me to the acid. And my dumbass, I'm like, battery acid? I'm like, how the fuck you gonna take that? He's like, no, LSD piece. I'm like, heck. My ass was like, hell no, man.
I hate to make it a race thing. I wasn't trying stuff like that because I'm like, that's some white boy crap. I'm like,
yeah. He was a white boy. Yeah.
Like K2 and all that. I'm like, oh man, I don't even like white people. I'm gonna go try y'all drugs. It's like, like, nah. I was definitely tempted. Wanted. I can openly say I wanted to do this. This was a plan. Like, all my people was around me, and then I was like, I started hanging out with a better class of people. Then I got old enough. When it was time to try it, you called it God. I had started kicking it with Peanut at that time.
Right.
Peanut wasn't doing it, and I'm like, this the coolest dude I know, and the coolest dude Peanut know was Juju, and Juju wasn't doing it. So it's like,
I'm out.
Yep. It's time for me to try this. Peanut, hey, you want to try this? Fool, I ain't doing that. Me either.
Right. Right, man. It's just, man. And here's the crazy part. I never used to smoke weed, and I'm the dude at the party. Literally, let me see. It's 20 dudes at Steve's house. Only 2 of us that don't smoke weed, me and La. And they passing the weed around the cipher. And it's always, I don't know how it happens to me every time. It's a new dude to the crew. They always sit next to me. So they pass the weed and I start reaching for it. And the whole house, man, you don't smoke. And I said, I don't smoke.
They do the exact same thing to me, but like honestly, I will hit some weed there now and then. Like me or Juju don't smoke, but me and him the casual smokers. Like, hey, they get in there, like get a nice little buzz and then go about our business. But before they hand it to me or Juju, they'll go. They be high as a kite in there, though. What you doing?
right. When they know you don't smoke, you don't mess with you, man. You don't mess with you. Last question. Then we're gonna get up out of here.
Okay.
We're gonna go to the last question, the fifth one. Street violence. Like I said, street violence was an organized thing, man. Nobody calls it that. Nobody calls it. They call it gang violence and yada blah blah blah. It's the worst thing in the world.
I want to tell people this right now. Get that gang out of your head. There ain't nothing about what's going on gang related. And I guarantee you, as a rapper just got out of jail, they asked him, "Oh, so you GD?" He said, "No, I'm insane," which is a branch of the GDs, but it's not, nobody's claiming a gang anymore. Like, this is gang affiliation and ties it's not a thing anymore. Mm-hmm. It's really it's a rap, it's like a myth at this point.
Yeah, it tripped me out one time. I saw a dude. He was sitting there just like this. He was on an interview. He was sitting there like this, saying he was a GD. I'm like, hey, dude, do you not know left from right? You're not a GD, but your head broke to the left.
They don't know.
I couldn't say nothing because I'm watching TV, but I'm like, no, you're not. But I understand.
It's
something
like,
you had is cool now, but I don't know GDs turn their head to the left.
They so renegade, it's ridiculous. It's like it's not a thing anymore. I don't believe in it. And anybody who's an old head GD, like not even an old head, not GD, an old head gangbanger, you got not even old head, just matter of fact, call Jew and ask him, Jew, what you think about it? He goes, man, that ain't even real. And then when it comes to and the only reason I want to cut that out, because once you cut that out, then you'll understand the violence a little bit more. Because again, like our original point, if there were gangs, this wouldn't be happening. Because if 14, 15-year-olds was robbing people, hurting somebody like me who not in the gang, ain't on nothing, ain't doing nothing, and then I can go to my neighborhood gang and go, man, this just happened to me. They're gonna figure out who this just happened to. Or you knew, if I'm a GD, I go to the store, I get robbed, I get jumped, I get shot. That gang knew who did it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't no, man, that could have been who. It was, what was that? That was what's that name. Don't worry about it. We gonna take care of that.
And it was over.
It was we gonna take care of that. Or we sliding with you. Let's go. That's in a nutshell of the violence when I grew up. Right now, total chaos. Total chaos. Everybody's chasing the dollar. And I think I said this in one of our earlier shows. What they're doing is they're making their own money. Gang, it was tiers, it was leadership, it was, okay, he getting this, we gonna trickle this money down. Now, instead of being spoon-fed your money, you getting your own money. So what I need this gang for?
Mm-hmm.
Like the late great Vito. Remember, he told me a little Insta story, like, man, they tried to recruit me for a gang because I was selling that stuff, but hey, I'm making more money than y'all. What I like being in y'all gang? Now imagine putting that mindset in somebody who's 14 with their own gun, and their own car, and their own crew who listen to them.
Yeah.
I don't need y'all. What I need you for? Then I can't eat what I want. I gotta learn a handshake. I gotta learn how to read, write.
I gotta learn how to go to school. I gotta go to school. And people don't. Man, when I tell people that, they don't believe me. Like, man, you couldn't be, dude.
I understand it because Juju, because I'm not a gang banger or a gang member, but I'm a gang affiliate because of who they are.
Right.
They just know me. They instantly, oh, he GD. Why? Them is people. He with them every day. So it's like, no, I ain't. Ain't no point of telling them. Because whatever gonna happen regardless, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I have been in every crew in the city. Depends on where I'm standing. I'm in that crew, and people. I mean, he one of them, and
I tell people all the time, man, I'm EBK. Anybody can get it. Whoever I'm with at the time, I Clarence, my homeboy. He a Cobra. Well, I guess I'm a Cobra today.
Right. You whatever you standing, and that's. But like people like me and you, we walked the same path in regards to that gang thing. Everybody in the streets knew who we were and how we got down, so we didn't really have to deal with those.
No, I definitely did. I probably can encounter maybe. I mean, I can count maybe 3 fingers how many gang encounters I was in, and I can only probably honestly understand. I mean, remember one, and that was something with me and Bria. That's another time, another show. But once we got back to our side of town, it was over with.
Right.
They was like, wait, they messing with you and your little sister? Yeah. Don't worry about that.
Right. And so that's the thing, man. Like, people think this gang thing in Chicago is just rife with violence and just waiting to kill people, and it's really not. And we're not promoting gang activity. We're not. But it's just we telling you the truth. We're telling you what's really going on.
Yeah.
With that being said, man, thanks for being on again, B, man. I will see you 2 weeks from tonight. Tomorrow night, it'll be, hey, stay on after the song play. I got to holler at you. Tomorrow, right now, Negro. Tomorrow night, we got me, Brady Kev, and Charlotte rapping with Charlotte. Rapping with HRap. Rap sessions. That's what it is. Rap sessions tomorrow. Charlotte will be the host. We are going to have some fun. And Friday night, we got Jim Dodd. The only reason I call him Jim Dodd is because the guest on the show Friday, Reverend Dodd, he called him Jim instead of James. We got Reverend Jim Dodd on Friday with Rap with HRap, 7 p.m. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. We got rap sessions. Man, thanks again, B. It's always good to have the perspective of the youngsters.
And it's always good to at least like a lot of your viewers are the older crowd, and it's nice to hear what y'all think. And I really appreciate everybody who asks a question instead of just going, "Oh man, that's how it is, man. Forget them." No, that's not how it is. Now explain it and break it down. And if anybody got any questions, they can always hit me up. Like, man, well, what's some steps we can take to help this? And we're like, man, we can go find somebody and help them.
Yeah.
You know, fleet of kids that, hey,
they need an ear.
They need it. Hey, man, well, you want to talk to them? Man, we can go holler at my man Dan, who runs the youth center, and also is one of the sergeants of police on the west side.
Lieutenant Dan now.
Lieutenant on the west side. He appoints you to wherever you want to go.
Lance Deuce in the building. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. See, that's the thing, man. The name of the game is to reach out and communicate versus reach out and criticize and look down upon. Because guess what? The next, again, like Chuck D said, the next time you get ready to criticize somebody, think about the 5 worst things about yourself, and then you might shut the hell up. And the best thing about it is this. If you don't like what's going on, step up or step the fuck off. With that being said, salute to Reggie O'Shea. Oh, you know what? We're going to salute the people who give us inspiration. And that is the Ghetto Boys podcast. Tariq Nasheed, Nori Talib Kweli, Ray Grady, Zoe Williams, Corey Holcomb, the homie Craig Smith from Craig Facts. Craig Facts will be on tomorrow. Al Sharpton, Sister Heather B, Super Dope Brother Clay Kane, my favorite, to read down your favorites, the most informed man in the history of the world, if you ask me. Dr. Greg Carr, one of the professors in Africana Studies. He's an Africana Studies PhD. He's a legal and functioning lawyer and a law school teacher, and one of the most informed people you ever run in contact with. The energy, the bug, the queen mother, Karen Hunter. She doing it all. Remember, y'all, sign up for Nubia and Narrative with a K. Nubia with a K. Narrative with a K. Mad information being given out. And the D. Joe Madison. He's in the building at all times. Salute to our ancestors. Salute to our supporters. Salute to our people. It ain't nothing but being black round here. We unapologetically black. And as my man Reggie O'Shea and Craig Smith says, dream those dreams and man up and woman up and live those dreams, because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in Technicolor surround sound. And if you don't know what's next, you need to sit your ass down. Sit your ass down.
Shut your white mouth.
and if you don't like what we just said,
you better shut your white mouth. I'm not kidding you.
Because if I owe you something, I ain't got it. If you need it, you get it from God.
We lust for that cheese, we lose sleep, dreams of that cream. We killing our teens, they dying for this American dream. Them government schemes, they turning us to hustlers and fiends. We hustling trees, them politicians smuggling green. Chasing that cheese, got everybody stressed in the streets. Pardon me for speaking freely, let it breathe. Evangelists preach the congregations out of their seats. They writing them checks for tithes, now it's people can't eat. She stripping for change for school, now she giving them brains. She used to that loot, she earning, now she giving them strain. He new to this game, but hungry, so he cooking his cane. He getting that paper, but then they gave him tools to the brain. It's rules to this game, but hustlers never hustle for fame. The spirit of greed is grimy, so we struggle to change. They put us in chains to take away our African names. But if we submissive and don't resist, then who do we blame? It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't? You thinking they saints? Remember all them niggas they hang? Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. They gave us Obama, but that nigga was hoping for change. But Zimmerman is killing niggas and he free. Shit is crazy, babies having these babies and getting checked. But keep the child from they pop to rip his heart out his chest. Our rappers was leaders and now they in the booth in the dress. Spitting bullshit and making more but giving us less. They taking our sound and changing ours, dumbing it down. They taking our jobs and homes and they shutting us out. They taking our kids because it ain't a man in the house. They locking us down, but soon they gon' be wiping us out. They told our women they was too independent to need a man. They told our brother he was too insignificant to advance. It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't? You thinking they saints? Remember all them niggas they hang? Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. It's all a game.
You better shut your white mouth. I'm not kidding you.
We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.